Yo, yo, what up? I missed the Sunday video, but, to be fair to me, as some of you know, I'm from Boston, born and raised there for 18 years, so I had more important matters to attend to on Sunday. Was it worth it? I mean, in hindsight, no, but, what you gonna do, man? Anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about the little presents Fanes has left all over Teyvats, which are more commonly... back like we never left, folks. Back like we never left. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the, housewarming gifts Fanes occasionally leaves all over Teyvats. Little welcome to Teyvats sort of present, so that sort of thing going on. The Divine Nails is what they're more commonly known as. There's been a lot of talk about them recently. A lot of, unjust criticism, I'd argue. Maybe there's some just criticism. You can decide, because today we're going to track down all the Divine Nails that have been dropped all over Teyvat, showcase where they've been dropped, and more importantly, answer why they were dropped. But before we get into that, let's, more generally speak about the nails and arrive at one undeniable conclusion, which I'm not even going to draw. I'm simply going to lay the evidence plain before you and let you draw your own conclusions. The first source comes from an angel, Nabu Malikata, who once said, quote, "It was a faraway time of calm and peace. Divine envoys spoke openly with the people then, bringing them word from the heavens, but in time, invaders descended from beyond the firmaments, bringing with them destruction, overturning rivers, spreading plagues. And though the invaders brought war to my former kin, they also brought about illusions that could break through the shackles to the land. But the master of the heavens, consumed by fear for the rising tide of delusion and breakthroughs, sent down the divine nails to mend the land, laying waste to the mortal realm." Okay, so, for those unclear, the invaders Nabu is speaking of is referring to Nibelung and the War of Funerary Flame. So, after this war, the nails were cast down to mend or heal the land, because Nahida tells us the nails are capable of this.
There is a chance that it could avoid that end, using the power of something here. I'm referring to what was used to fight against the Abyss. It once repaired the rifts of Teyvat long ago. It has the ability to purify and stabilize powers that shouldn't exist in Teyvat.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's find another source that speaks about the nails. How about King Deshret? Quote, "In the original worlds, the barriers were torn down, and the dark poison had penetrated the earth. To heal that fragile, sad, and imperfect world, the spikes descended and pierced through the earth's crust." So same story as, Nabu Malikata, which makes sense, given she's the one that told Deshret all about this ancient history in the first place. But as someone who has always been skeptical of Celestia, for even King Deshret to take these claims at face value, perhaps that indicates we should as well. Next, let's see what a dragon sovereign, the original Dendro Beast, has to say.
"But I didn't give up on searching for a way to turn the tides, even after the death of the Dragon King. As I attempted to collect more forbidden knowledge from the corners of the world, as it was on the verge of collapse, I was stopped by the giant spike that fell from the sky. Sand dunes arose where there was only forest, and it was as if even Sumeru itself was trying to tell me that the era of the dragons was over."
Okay, once again reaffirming the nails came down after the War of Funerary Flame, specifically in a location dealing with forbidden knowledge. Interesting. Now let's turn to Celestia themselves, Istaroth, the Shade of Time, an emissary of the Heavenly Principles, who spoke these words to Zabai on the day the Divine Nail was to strike long gone.
"All places tainted by the Abyss need to be purified. That includes Long Gone."
"And what of its people?"
"You know what will happen. You are but an emissary to the mortal realm. This is Heaven's will. There is no need for guilt, and no place for hope."
Thank you, Istaroth, for once again affirming the nails came down after the War of Funerary Flame. Now let's take a look at the outlier sources. All these sources that came into existence about a year ago. And I'll speak of a divine nail striking before the War of Funerary Flame, specifically in Hyperborea, where, Sudervoinen and Koitar were planning to overthrow the Heavenly Principles. Quote, I see a time when the earthly nations will yearn no longer for heavenly mercy. The cities they build will rise up to the clouds, higher than even the throne and the stars. I see humans sharing the vast sky with the gods they once revered. There will be no more tears, sorrow, or death, for all will be complete. Yet in the end, such wild illusions and ambitions were brought down from the heavens, and with them fell deep blue crystal spikes. And here we have the Moon Sisters affirming this narrative by stating they dealt with the aftermath of the nails.
They would even cast down celestial nails as manifestations of their power to punish the civilizations of the world below.
Only this was far beyond mere punishment.
I did everything in my power to help the punished escape catastrophe, but still, too many lives were lost.
So from what we've gathered, it seems like the nails serve a dual purpose, to mete out punishment and to purify the abyss. Now, I'm still not entirely convinced on that former point, if I'm being honest, but it is what the evidence suggests, so I'm okay rolling with it. Now let's look at the actual nails in-game, starting with the first nail we run into, Dragonspines. Long ago on old Dragonspine, back when it was a beautiful, lush green grass, there's some adjective I'm missing there, it's fine. There existed the ancient nation of Salvanir. Timeline-wise, this nation existed during the era of the unified civilization, which means it predates the War of Funerary Flame, as evidenced by the fact that divine envoys were present. Things were going swell in the nation. They had a piece of Irminsul they worshipped, and hell, one day a priest's daughter was born beneath the tree, and she had the power to see the future, way into the future, as a matter of fact, given she saw Durin the Black Dragon that would die on Dragonspine thousands of years into the future. Anyway, around this time, or before this time, or after this time, we don't really know, the Divine Nail would strike Dragonspine, turning it from a grassy mountain into this snowy batshit horseshit. I hated exploring this fucking region it is today. Why did it strike Dragonspine? No one really knows. The nation wasn't attempting a rebellion, nor were they really blaspheming the gods. They were sort of just doing their own thing, so I have two guesses. This nail, I'd wager, came down as a result of the War of Funerary Flame, and while the area didn't seem tainted by the Abyss, perhaps this nail was sent down here, as it played a key role in stabilizing all of Teyvats. Now, as for my second guess, folks, is it truly a coincidence that around the same time the princess got visions of Durin, a black dragon made by powers from the Abyss, the nail came down? Now, this isn't to say the nail came down because the princess got the visions, but is it really a coincidence the nail came down where this black dragon would die? Where his abyssal corpse would corrupt the land? What are the odds that the one thing that can keep the Abyss at bay would be there? Given the one who sent down the Divine Nail controls fate, I'd argue it's no coincidence at all. Moving on to the second nail, this one's in the Chasm. The story's quite simple, we just found out about it. It struck Long Gone because they were tainted by the Abyss. Well done. Moving on to the third nail, perhaps the most mysterious one. This one's in Inazuma on Surimi Island, with Capitano, I don't know the fuck you say this bird's name, telling us, quote, "Once strange objects fell from the heavens, one of which landed upon this island, after which your sky returned to its clear state. Afterward, the fog started to emerge. Though you had the power to disperse that fog, it meant little to you either way." Now, in addition to not knowing why this nail fell, the reason this is the most mysterious nail is because we don't know where the fuck this nail is. It's a ghost. Surimi Island has all the symptoms of a divine nail strike, ley line disturbance, weather changes, but as for the nail itself, physically, it isn't present. Artistically, it's not in any murals. It's a ghost, not a clue. Now, the reason we don't know why this nail fell is because we hardly know anything about the civilization that existed here before Capitano came along, so, a lot of unknowns regarding this whole situation. Hey, look, the way I view it, when in doubt, don't fear, simply let Celestia steer. I trust them, I know they had a good reason. The next divine nail is in Sumeru, and well, as the Pep told us, she was trying to collect forbidden knowledge, then the nail came down and turned this entire area into a desert from the forest it once was. Now, this nail isn't overtly present in Sumeru, but we probably know where it is, and it's here. You don't see it because it could be below us, as King Deshret built the eternal oasis where the divine nail was. Quote, Legend has it when the Lord of Flowers passed, her countless jinn turned to serve King Deshret. King Deshret searched in vain for the ancient paradise where the divine needle fell, and there created an eternal oasis. The final divine nail we encounter is in Natlan, in the Night's Kingdom specifically. I don't think this nail was ever touched upon in a world quest, a piece of lore, in the main quest. I didn't say fucking shit about this nail, bro. This nail most likely originated following the War of Funerary Flame, given that's when the Night Kingdom came into being. Can't be before this. Following Natlan and its ley lines being devastated by the Abyss, you know, odds are it just makes sense to me. The one nail we have yet to encounter most likely is in Snezhnaya. That, of course, is going to be the one that struck Hyperborea because, you know, they were just getting a little too silly. But it could be Snezhnaya is headed in the direction of a 2-for-1 special. Look up at Celestia. Anything seem off? Is that a nail? Let's say it is. It looks like Celestia could have one more in them, and given the Tsaritsas planning a rebellion should the Moon Sisters' tales hold true, we could see a divine nail devastate the land in Snezhnaya if we don't talk down the Tsaritsa. So current running count would seem to suggest the nails were responsible for the complete and utter annihilation, devastation, of at least 4 civilizations. Salvin and Air, long gone, the ancient civilization on Surimi Island, and Hyperborea. Game's the game, man. Yeah, you guys have to go to keep all of humanity safe. I'm sure they understand. With all this being said, in conclusion, I believe it likely the nails are very, very good.